Welcome to the middle of the year. It's June. Or when that happened. It is Pride Month though, so, Pride appropriate shirt because, I'm queer, trans, and I like monsters. It's appropriate. I don't even remember where I got this shirt. It was someone on Redbubble, I want to say. Um, if I find the link, I'll put it below. But it was someone on Redbubble. Yeah, no, we're in June, so I have whole bunch of May stitching to go through. We have some starts, we have some finishes, and we have some progress on some whips. Not a huge amount of progress. I did say that May was going to be very busy because it is my birthday month. And sure enough, it was very busy. I got lots of things done. There was a cross stitch retreat for a single day that I did for Color Cascades. There was, zoo adventures and staycations and all sorts of things. So we have we have updates. I have a little bit of stash, not a huge amount, um, a little bit, but mostly I have whips to go through. So before we get into that, for those who have been here before, hello, welcome back again to the middle of the year. Where the hell has time gone? Because I've got no idea. And then for those who are new, I'm Gothy or Raven. My pronouns are they, them, and I am a queer, trans, disabled stitcher from Australia. And it's goblin bullshit over here. Um, that's why the channel is named after my goblin antics now. Yeah, it's we go with vibes here. So May stitching. I did a total of 4,342 stitches. Approximately. There were a couple of days where I didn't count the stitches that I was doing on the projects, so it is probably a bit closer to the 5,000 mark than that. But there were days that I just didn't feel like counting. I didn't want to do that. And the reason that I'm counting stitches is not because it's not something I normally do. It is specifically for Whip Warriors, which is run by Paddock Lane Designs. And it's basically just like a you choose what events you do different like games and stuff like that to just help you progress on your whips. So I've been doing that this year. It's the first time doing it and it's been good. Um I'm also counting my stitches for Ozabor, which is like a D&D style game that's also being run by some of the mods in Whip Warriors as well. Um and that's been fun too. So I'm part of a team. We do team stitching and stuff. I've got to do some today actually. So after this is done, and while it's editing and exporting and everything, I'm gonna be stitching the hell out of that because we just got jumped by a bunch of bandits and we gotta fight them. So yeah, I'm gonna do some of that. So where to start with May stitching? I did have a lot of no stitchy days, just because I had work stuff was getting to be like a lot, and like I was getting really exhausted with work. So taking a week off for my birthday was a really good idea. Um, And then I had like the week off doing birthday stuff. I did do some stitching during that week as well. I did a lot of stitching during that week. Had the retreat for the Color Cascades retreat. That was really good. It was really fun. One of the two people that I was gonna have with me wasn't able to make it. But one of my real life friends did come with, and that was really lovely. Just sort of catch up with her and just sit and stitch and like, introduce her to some people and like have her as part of the community as well, and yeah, that was really good. But it was genuinely just like a good day. I got to see lots of people that I knew from other retreats. Got to see Tammy again, which is great because I haven't seen her since 2019, which was the last Color Cascade retreat that I went to, and that one was in Perth. And yeah, it was really good. It was just a genuinely good day. Um, Definitely saw lots of projects that I'm just like, oh, maybe. But I took all of my color cascade finish projects with me, just like a giant pile, because Tammy was like, "Oh, just like bring any stuff that you finished on color cascade fabrics," and I'm like, "All right, just have the entire pile." And people just kept like sort of flipping through them and stuff like that, which was nice. And at some point, someone moved a particular finish of mine to the very top, which I didn't expect because like I'd kept it kind of in the middle. And it was one that I did was my first time stitching on linen. Was it even weave? I think it's even weave. First time stitching on even weave, and it was at the first color cascade retreat that I went to. Um, I don't have it out with me at the moment, so I'll have to put a picture up. But the context is Tammy was trying to like win me over to the even weave side. Um, just because that's what she was enjoying stitching on at the time. And I was hesitant because I'd never stitched on it and it just seemed really overwhelming because I'd tried linen once before and I didn't like linen, because I just didn't like the unevenness and the sloppiness. So she gave me this piece of even weave. I pulled up just like a free pattern, and it was the Hail Satan freebie from the Witchy Stitcher. And the reason I pulled that one up was because in the sort of conference room that was next to us was another conference, and they were like it was like a couples counseling thing with a religious spin on it, and they were just really really loud all weekend, and we kept like sort of saying, hey, like, can you just like turn your microphones and stuff down a little bit, like it's a bit much, it's coming through the walls. And then like for me personally, like they'd gotten a little judgy because I was running around in my wheelchair, and they like I had some comments about, oh, like, we'll pray for you and stuff, and I'm like, I'd rather you didn't. And then some of them were just like judgy and just like, like the sneer that people get. Um, so I ended up stitching that Hail Satan one, and I started and finished it there at that retreat. And it was motivated by the really loud preachy people next door, who were basically like we could hear everything. So there were like people saying, oh, like, our sex life is diminishing and stuff like that, because they'd put the people on the microphone as well. Um, and then they'd be like, oh, but you just need to let Jesus in, and you just need to do these prayers every night, and then like your sex drive will come back. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's how that actually works, but yeah, you do you. But yeah, they were just like really loud and rude all weekend, so it was like a very targeted and motivated stitch. Um, and yeah, it's just funny because it's come back and had it in the middle of the pile because it's on a color cascades fabric. And at some point, someone had pulled it out and put it on the direct top of the pile. And like I stitched it in black and green, of course. And I used the sparkly DMC floss. Like there'll be a picture. Yeah. At some point, yeah, somebody put that on the top, and I was just giggling about that. So I have whips, I have finishes. This one's closest to me, so we'll start here. They're not going to be any kind of order. It's just chaos order because I did not put them in an order. So my handbag project has been this little freebie. It's like this cute little gothic house with a bunch of bats. The fabric is a lot more green than it's showing up here. It's showing up quite grey. But it is like a really dark foresty green. The colorway is Wattle Forest from Paddock Lane Designs. And the designer of the little house is Innocent Bones. A couple of months ago, they put a freebie up on their Instagram page. So I grabbed that, and that's been my handbag project. So I started that, as far as I can tell, on the 8th of February. That's when I uploaded it to my whipboard. And I finished it on the 31st of May. So, 31st of May was the day that I came back home from spending time in the city, for my birthday week. So that was me pretty much finishing it on the train home. So now I've got to pick another handbag project, and that'll go in this little Jason Voorhees bag that I keep in my handbag. Okay, so that one's that. This one's also next to me. This is just some black 18 count Ada. Is it 18? I think it might be 16. I'll have to double check the count. But so far we've just got a little bat and like purpley greys. This is the start of Screech Therapy. I'm doing I was gonna do just like the plain rainbow variation one, because it comes with a few different variations. The designer is asleep at the stitch. But I've decided I'm gonna use a bunch of hand-dyed flosses instead, so I just grabbed a couple of random ones. And I'm just gonna do that. It's just gonna be a whole bunch of background, and I have to finish the pad off. But that one that one's been a new start. That one I started on the 15th of May, and it has 323 stitches in the back. There's a couple of colours in there. There's 3 colours, I think. 3, maybe 4 colours. So, nice and quick. Next on the pile, Arthas. Um, the Deb Thread Designs bag. I haven't seen any more bags from them for a little while, so they must be busy. Arthas came out for a little bit, got a huge amount of time. Arthas got, where is it? 574 stitches. So that's where, like, this is a huge project. But this is kind of where we've been stitching. So I finished filling in the dress, or the robe, of the dude, filled in some more of this, filled in a little bit more of this, lots of this brown color. Um, so we're getting close to this. This is all just going to be block stitching, which is going to be so so good and satisfying when I get to it. But yeah, Arthur's came out, got 574 stitches. Not a huge amount, but enough. It was for a challenge. Um, I've been doing in Whip Warriors the Stitch and Seek challenges, which has been funny because I thought, oh yeah, like I'll be able to do that out of my whips, no problem. I actually, I've actually found that like trying to do them just out of my whips is really difficult because I don't have whips that have the same things. Like for example, like this month's one, there's like snow, and it's like, oh yeah, snow. I'm like, I don't think I have any projects that have snow in them. How the fuck am I gonna do a snow prompt? So I'm hoping. I've got a retreat coming up this month, up in the Blue Mountains, towards the end of June. I'm hoping that it snows. Because then I can just quickly like duck outside and be like, look, snow with my whip. Then run back and like hobble. Run, but I mean hobble or wheel. Whichever one I'm doing at the time. Just hobble back inside and then just go back up in the blankets that I will inevitably need in that instance. Um, and then Sam, like, birthday cake with candles. It was my birthday last month. We got the birthday cake this week. But I didn't have candles, so I wasn't gonna buy candles just for that, but I don't have that in any of my whips. So some of the prompts get a little difficult. We're getting along. We're getting there. Alright, so this one is demons. I shortcutted as demons. This one I can't find the designer. Can't find the pattern. And I it was a bit of a problem because I ended up substituting a color. Because I couldn't see the mock-up anymore, like I couldn't find it. And because I couldn't find it, I wasn't sure the original color was gonna work the way that I wanted it to, so I subbed it out. So this is based off BuzzFeed Unsolved, and it's just gonna say, "Hey there, demons, it's me, your boy." So I finished demons. So the D was had to finish the D. And then the little satanic symbol and the start of the outline is what I subbed out. It was originally in a dark brown color. I wasn't sure about the dark brown, so I switched it out for the sparkly DMC 310. A little bit of sparkle. And yeah, that one got 390 stitches to finish the D and start the outline. Not a huge amount. Like again, I didn't do a lot of stitching this month. I've had a lot of other stuff on. But, you know, we got some. Every stitch can next. Alright, so these are... Alright, This is a bag full of. This has got 3 projects in it. These are the ones. This is the bag that I took with me to the Color Cascade retreat. I stitched on Baker's Wife and I stitched on Raven Queen. I did not count my stitches on either. So I do not know how many stitches I did on them. I did some. What I found was like, because this is the bag that I took with me to the Mirabilia retreat last year, in Queensland. So I was still just working off the flosses that I have on my little, floss, not really floss drops. I'll show it in a second, but the ones that I got Andrew to 3D print me. See, I put some of the water lilies on there too. So I didn't have all the colours that I needed because I originally pulled Baker's Wife out to work on Baker's Wife first. And then I was like, oh wait, Baker's Wife, I bought like a whole bunch of bobbinated flosses out of my usual collection. I didn't just work off those. So I didn't have a lot of the stuff I needed for Baker's Wife. So she didn't get much, but she did get a little bit. There will be photos. Now this one is going to be hard to show because the fabric is insanely bright green. Oh, it's getting there. Oh, a little bit better. One's very hard because the green and the yellow is very bright. It's gonna look like a zombie on there, which is kind of what I want. But I just filled in some of those flowery bits. I didn't have the flesh tones that she uses. So she didn't get much, but she got a little. I didn't pull Eva out because Eva is in here too. So no plasticky noises. So for context, that is Baker's Wife. So she kind of looks like a zombie already. Like she's got that Mary on Antoinette kind of deal. She's gonna look like a zombie on that fabric, and that's the vibe. And then yeah, Eva didn't come out. That one is Eva. She didn't come out, but she's in here, so I'll just show her off anyway. I had been planning on doing like a birthday whip parade. I don't think it's gonna happen. Birthday's already passed, so I might just do it at a random point in the future. Maybe if I have like a stitching month that doesn't have a lot of stitching. So that's where Eva's at. And do I have it noted what fabric she's on? My Island Home. That is a actually fairly accurate blue too. Actually, Color Cascade's just released a new blue fabric, so I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna check my other Bewitching Pixies to see if any of them are missing fabric. Because if they are, oh, so this is sort of like the floss drops that I got Andrew to print me because I don't like the ones where it just hangs because then the hanging bits get all tangled and shit and that bugs me. So this I just sort of haphazardly put these around. So this is not the proper use of them, but these ones, 3D print, you tie it onto here, and then you can wrap it around here. Pop your labels here. So on the when you actually put them on properly, it doesn't unfurl. Some of them will, a little bit, depending on how much you throw the bag around, which I do quite a bit. Because usually the bag will go on the back of my wheelchair, so it bounces. But you end up with that. And it's much easier to manage, they're not getting tangled, it's great. And you can tie as many bits on there, so like if you have like 2 strands left, you can tie those on. It's nice and easy. So Andrew's been 3D printing those for me. So I still have this on the hoop because I didn't finish the bit that I was doing. So I pulled the water lilies out and I started stitching with the water lilies. And yeah, my good vibes. Anita Wider there. That was from Ginger Stitch AU. And the Grime Guard from Cookie's Handmade on Etsy as well. This is not my Q snaps. Not Q snaps nerd. I don't use the Q snaps anymore. I'm just all about nerd now. Yeah, we filled in a whole bunch of the water lilies, and they're looking really nice. They're just really soft and smooth and pretty. That is my first time using water lilies, actually. Because this is my first, like, really big mirror. So far, I've only finished, Bewitching Pixies. I'll put that behind me, because it's... Then, Color Cascades bag. Witchy vibes. This one's a new start. Now, this one, I asked a few people and I was like, oh, do I do these two? I want to do them on the same fabric. Do I do them face to face or do them back to back? Because the designs don't quite line up. There's like bits in between. And the overwhelming majority was like, oh, you should do them face to face. I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because then I'd have Dawn Fairy and Dusk Fairy next to each other and it would work. When I put the fabric into the serge and I started stitching, I did not check what I was doing, and because I've started with Dusk Fairy, I think what happened is I maybe turned the serge the wrong way and had the fabric on the wrong side. I don't know, but it is now going to be Dusk Fairy, then Dawn Fairy, which is the opposite of what I was going to do. So this is a massive piece of fabric. And as you can see, I've done that much. This is going to have both fairies on it. I might even have some left over. We'll see how I go in placement. This is a piece of Black Cold Sun by Color Cascade Fabrics, which is wonderful. But that is the start of Dusk Fairy. Dusk Fairy and Dawn Fairy are very much like sort of... They're a little bit outside of what I would normally stitch, but I have been obsessed with those patterns since I first saw them. When I first saw them, you could only get them as kits, and I'd never got them as a kit. They're really hard to find as a kit. So when I came across both patterns available on an online cross-stitch as a PDF, and it was all licensed and like legit and everything, because I checked, I grabbed them, and they've been sitting on my to-start pile for ages. So I decided that this year was the year. So I'll be starting Dawn Fairy at some point in the next few months as well. Might have them on the go at the same time, but they will both be on that fabric. Those are by Leslie Tier. Is the designer for that one. Then we have a little bag by Cozy Props. Cute little bag. I'm hoping to get some more of the ones that are these size, because they're really cute and easy. So this one is Laws a Threat, and it's by Crazy Stitches, I believe. Double checking. Yeah, Crazy Stitch, but there's like 3 Z's. So this is where we're at. I put in the Molotov, filled out a little bit more of the dragon, and I started on the bottom border. So this one got... I realized I left the pattern out of the Mirabilia. That back. This one got 402 stitches. This is one of the ones I took with me my stay in the city. So that is a monologue from Dimension 20. The Agfort Adventurine Party. Was from the first season, I want to say. And it's just, I love it. I really do. I am hoping that this one will be finished this year. That is one of my goals, to have that finished. We'll see how I go. But that is that one. Next, there's 2 projects in here. This is like a folio project bag. This is by Andrea Coffey. And normally these get sold on Instagram, I believe, an Instagram page. But I won this at one of the Stitching in the Mountains retreats. There's 2 projects in here, and I worked on both of them. So, first one is do I still have the tag? The tag? I don't think I did. Okay. So this one's Flirtation, Long Dog Samplers. My first Long Dog. It's one of the small ones because I didn't want to get overwhelmed, just in case I didn't like it. I do actually really enjoy it. that's where we're at. This fabric is At Last by Color Cascades, and it is showing up really accurately, actually. The floss is a Silks For You floss, so I had to get another hank, so that's it there. Not fully tied on. Little floss drop is a little bat, and that's from Ginger Stitch AU as well. So this one got 475 stitches, which was pretty much just down in here, finishing this off, the little squirrels, and this. I wanted to try and give the squirrels opposite tails, so I was stitching a little bit more intentionally with this one. Um, yeah, that got almost 500 stitches. That one was also one of my city projects, so I took that in with me. And then we also have in the library in here, which again, like these little bags from Cozy Props. So this has got all of the cottage garden threads in here. Because I'm stitching, I haven't transferred them over onto bobbins or anything. And it just fits in here nicely with everything else. So this is Mojo Stitches in the library. I'm trying to get it without the glare because it's still in the plastic. The threads back in, like the bag with the threads in it just fits in there. Really nice. This has been stitched on. It's Stormy. Night. No, this is called Night. This is by Paddock Lane Designs. It's an 18 count. Showing pretty accurate. It's like a dark blue-grey. So we started on the new shelf. Added a few books in. And the glasses on the top. Not a huge amount. But I was doing this. I was doing this at a board game munch. And that meant that I was sitting in a pub doing this. Because that's how I roll. I didn't feel like playing board games, so I just got that out. That got 311 stitches. So this is whole. Like I said, it's all just going to be mixed up because it's all in a pile. Tammy gave me a project bag. It is massive. It is absolutely massive. I don't know what I'm going to keep in here, but it's massive. And like she had sent me like a picture of some of the project bags and stuff that she was bringing with, so I got a little bit of a preview, and I'd already earmarked that like this was one of the ones I was going to try and grab. And there were a couple of others as well. So there's one with like green skulls. I was going to try and grab that one, but she ended up putting this one aside to give to me because she's like, nah, like this one matches you too well. You have to have it. So I was like, the bats, little bat keyring, but on the back got the green bats, and like because she gave it to me at the retreat and I had Fellfire with me, I was like I kept holding it up to like Fellfire's armrest because Fellfire's armrests have got green bats all over them. And I was like, look, they match, they match. This one is super me. The inside is just some purple flowers with some little birdies, but I kind of like those as well. So I have a giant, massive project bag that is currently empty. I have a feeling when I start, I've got some more haul because I've got the fabrics that I bought from Color Cascades as well here. One of them is already destined for a start. It's for a specific project, and I think it might go in here because I feel like that one's gonna have to live on Snap potentially. So yeah, we'll see. But the fabrics that I got, when I got to the retreat, a lot of the fabrics were already gone. They went super quick. Everybody just, yeah, pounced on them. So there were not too many pieces left by the time I got to get up to the table to shop. I did grab this one, which is a little more blue on camera than it is in real life. It's more of a deeper green. This is Forest. This one's a 14 count. This is the 13 by 18. 13 by 17 piece. I also got an 18 count. Oh, wait, is it 18 or is it 16? It's 16. So this is Medusa, which is not showing as red as it actually is. It is crazy red. It's just red. And it kind of looks a little bloody, and I love it. Then we have a piece of opalescent. This is a 17 by 26 piece. It's called Moody Blues. And this is the piece that is destined for a specific project. And this one is destined for the Sailor Moon pattern that I picked up from Make It Pink. Because I did that a few months ago and I want to start Sailor Moon. I've decided I need more Sailor Moon pieces. So I'm gonna start that on this. It'll be a tight fit on here, I think. But it'll fit. I did the measurements and stuff. And it's an opalescent, so it's sparkly. And I think it's just gonna look really nice on there. That is the plan for that one. And then I have, let's see what I'm up to. Oh, that one. Alright, we have my other 2 new starts. I did 5 new starts all up for Whip Mania. Should I say Mania? I forgot to mention it at all. So these 2, this is a piece of 20 count. It's a really big piece, so I'm just doing them at the top. I've started 2 projects. They are both by Thread Poetic. I got them on Etsy. I'm not sure if there's an individual site, but you can see one says Heretic, and it is a Slipknot pattern. It's monochromatic, so it's all stitched in 310. And then this one is in 2 colors, so it's the red and the black. And that is a Deftones based pattern called Change. Because Change in the House of Flies. So those are some of my music ones. This is a piece of 20 count After the Rain from Color Cascades. And it is opalescent because sparkles. So that is the other 2 starts that I made. That makes 4 starts. One of these is a start and finish, and it's my other little finish for the month. And is this little camera Mill Hill kit. So I've already stitched the magnet and everything. Oh, like covered the back with felt and like put the magnet on. So that's all ready to go on the fridge. And it's really funny because I finished that, but I still have not edited my photos from my week. Or my week off. That's why I wanted to do the camera in specifics, because I had my camera with me. We did birthday week. We did whale watching, which was we went on a bad day for it, in that the weather was fucked. It was raining pretty much all week. And the whale watching vessel is just a ferry. It's just like a river ferry. And it goes out to sea. So we get on, and we're thinking, oh yeah, okay. And at first, like, it's really fun. It's a little bit choppy, so like the ferry's kind of lifting up and dropping down, and like I don't mind that. I think that's enjoyable. But when we get out to sea, there's no land that you can see. And the fact that like the cloud and the fog is just so immense and heavy was fucked. It was raining. The visibility was so poor that they were like, hey, yeah, like we're gonna actually just head back in. We know that there's a whale that sometimes hangs around Manly Beach, so we're gonna go see about, see if he's around, and we can go have a look at him, just because it's not a good idea for us to be out here right now, basically. Because like you could hear them cut the engines, so like there'd be a big wave, and then you'd hear them cut the engines, and the ferry would go up and then slam down. Um, Most of the people on the boat got sick. There were so many vomit bags going through. I got sick once, but mine wasn't seasickness. Mine was that every time the boat, like, because the boat was going up and then down, but it was also like waves were coming on one half of the boat. And because of the way this particular ferry is designed, it's it's one of the ones that's got like the gap in the middle. So like if a wave comes up on one side goes up and the other doesn't. So my chair would just go dunk dunk. Like still within its brakes, but like with a power chair. Even with the brakes on, there's a bit of give in the gearbox. So the chair would just chunk chunk. And that's what was getting me. I got dizzy and I got vertigo. From the chair just sort of like all the time. So it wasn't like there was no queasiness or anything like that. It was all just like dizzy brain things. So I threw up once, but everyone else on the boat was done. Most of the people were inside, like passing out to try not to be sick because we were out for 3 hours. Um, I spotted the whale. So like we were going back in through the head, in Sydney Harbour, and as we were going back in, they're just like, "Oh, just, now that visibility's cleared a little bit, we can see things again. Keep an eye out for a whale. Sometimes they come in and out here, just while we're heading up to Manly." And then I saw it. I saw the whale. I spotted it, and I, like, called it out because that's what they told us to do, was, like, if you see something, call it out. I did. Um, so, like, at first it was on my side, and I just see this little baby. I was, like, tiny for a whale, tiny. Um, so I called it out, and then, like, they ended up turning the boat around, so then I wasn't right in front of it. So then, like, a big group I had to wait for the group to disperse a little so that I could go and see it again. I didn't get too many photos, I got a few. Some of those have been edited, so those ones are put up. Um, but yeah, like, terrifying. I'm quite proud I didn't get anxiety because I have whole bunch of water-based phobias. So the fact that, like, I was out on the open sea, we couldn't fucking see shit, and I didn't have panic attack, well, like, that's good progress for me. But yeah, we did see a baby whale, we followed him for a little while, and then I think they were just like, "Yeah, like, we've hit 3 hours," and also most of the people are, like, almost passed out in the middle of the boat because they've been throwing up so much, we should probably head back. And, like, see some of the other boats that were also doing well watching cruises, like, that, like, caught up with us. And you could even see their boats just, like, insane choppy waves, like, it was fucked. Um, Very much reminds me of, like, when you watch videos of people passing through, um, what is the name of it? It's there's a particular channel of water, a channel of ocean that is just insane. And I'm blanking on the name of it now, but, like, you'll see, like, the waves coming up and over and stuff, like, it was doing that. We were on a ferry and it was doing that, so, like, it was fucked. Um, we ended up going back to the hotel room and just passing the fuck out, because we were f it took a lot out of us. Um, the next day was my actual birthday, which is we did the Taronga Zoo birthday thing, so I got my badge for this year. And that was fun. Ran around, took photos, saw all the animals, freaked out, got to meet dingoes, and I will put photos up as well. We got to do the dingo experience. Andrew got me that for my birthday. Or got us both that for my birthday. And then one of my other friends who was with us, also jumped in for that as well. Um, I will blank out his face because I don't have his consent, but, like, yeah. Um, But yeah, we did that. The dingoes were lovely. I love dingoes so much. And I know they're not dogs. They're technically wolves, but, like, I just wanna can't help but just, like, wanna cuddle them and everything. And these two were, like, super lovely. They were really well socialized. Um and they have the wheelchair accessible option for this particular experience as well. Not all of their experiences have one. So we were able to, I was able to just roll in and we just sat in the enclosure with them. Um, and they had them on leads just because it's a little bit easier for when we have to leave the enclosure. But they were really lovely. They liked getting pats and everything, and they said that they were a little worried that like one of them was gonna jump up on my lap. And I was like, no, no, I moved my camera bag and my camera because I wanted that to happen. I want the dog. I want the dingo to come and love me. That's what I want. Um, but yeah, we did that and then we just had dinner and stuff. And yeah, um, that was a good day. Very tired. I haven't edited any of the photos from that yet. But it's on my list of things to try and get done today. We'll see. I may not get it done today. So yeah, but at some point I'll get them done. I'll throw some up on Instagram. So jump over there like in a couple of days time and I might have some up. What else did we do? Um Thursday was Anastasia. Went to see the play. I don't have the programming with me, but it was fucking amazing. I loved it. It was so good, and the costumes were so good. And every time I go to see like a musical or something like that, it always fills me with the urge to just rhinestone the fuck out of everything. I want to be that sparkly. So I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I want the sparkles. But yes, that was really good. We did dinner beforehand as well. And then we're gonna walk around for Vivid, because Vivid was on, but we were a little worried about the rain. So we went and got some dessert and we went back to the hotel. And that ended up being a really good call because it started pissing down on the way back. Then Friday we did a Vivid dinner cruise. Um so it was full like full course meal. Um and it was really, really good. I was a little worried that I wouldn't be hugely into the food because it's like very much fancy food. But I was like, look, I'm gonna try. So we did that. It was really lovely. The staff on the boat were really lovely. Um the food was honestly amazing. And I tried some new things and it worked out. It was fine. Um, I took exactly one photo of the food, which again I'll have up. I keep saying this side because, like, on my side, that's where it is on the screen. But like, it's actually gonna be on this side, um, which I've left kind of a bit more open this time. Still playing with different things. I didn't want to set my actual camera up to do the top down view today. We're low spoons today, but that was really good. We saw the fireworks for Vivid. Um, I didn't get I don't think I got too many photos of it. Um, but we did see them. And then we just sort of sat outside after the meal was done and just kind of took some photos of Vivid and just chatted and hung out and stuff. It was really nice. After we got off the boat, because it dropped us back in Darling Harbour rather than Circular Quay. So we wandered down to Barangaroo. We caught like the last of the lights and stuff like that. We missed a few things. So like they've got the fire kitchen in Barangaroo this year. Um with lots of food and stuff. We didn't end up going back to it to have a look, but we had like a little bit of wander around at the end of it. And then wandered back to the hotel, chilled out. On the Saturday we went to the board game lunch and sort of just hung out with people until we decided we were tired and wanted to go back. Then I packed up, um, and headed back home on the Sunday. So that was basically my birthday week. It was mostly just chilling and not having to do things around those kind of activities was really nice. Um, I had good company, and the place we were staying at was really nice. Just a really really good solid week. I got to do some stitching. I even did some coloring. Again, I'll throw a photo up. But yeah, I even did some coloring, which was a nice sort of change. You see, side the background here, I've got these little bags. I've been changing how I store my pencils and my markers and stuff like that for coloring. Because before I had like, this set of watercolor pencils was in a little roll, and then this set of watercolor pencils was in a roll because they're different brands. And then I had like this box of pencils and like this thing of pencils, and my markers were sort of stacked in these things that were really difficult, that were becoming really difficult for me to pull out when I wanted to do some coloring. So now I've got these bags. Grab one. And like they're massive. Ow. So they're massive. I just got these off Amazon. But I can just carry them. It fits all of them. All of them except my Tombow, because this one is... the Tombows were too long for this. But all of my markers are in here now. So, fine liners. Fine liners. They're not fine liners, they are markers, but they're just a little bit thicker than a fine liner. All of these ones. Yep. So I just paused so that I can do that back up a bit. One for markers, a smaller one for pencils, and then that little one on top is the Tombows. And then another thing that I got myself for my birthday as well, because birthday vouchers and coupons and stuff. Those little book nook things, right? And I got myself a new Stitchy lights. So this one's for retreats mostly. Which is a little LED light. I have one that's similar. It's one of the Daylight brand ones, which is good, but it is an old light. So if I don't want to use, batteries to choose through, I need to plug it into a wall socket, which is not the most practical all the time. So I've updated and upgraded. This one's USB-C, so it's rechargeable. So I can just pop it into hitting the button. Button's very sensitive, so it's rechargeable. I can pop it into my power bank. I can charge it on my power chair if I've got my power chair with me, or I can do wall socket if I need to. But it is very bright, so just a warning. Yeah. They're just 3 little settings, but that'll be really good for the retreat. And yeah, just nice and portable. I don't have to worry too much about trying to get to a wall socket. And it came down to like $28 with the voucher, so I got that. I got the Book Nook, and it's still on their way, but I got myself some Copic multi-liners, or like lining pens and stuff, because the ones that I had have disappeared. I had a set of not Copic ones, but a different, like a cheaper brand one. I cannot for the life of me find them. That was also part of the reason I was redoing the storage, because like I was like, oh, like I know I've got this, like this set of pencils, or like this particular thing. It's just all in different places. So I don't know where those have gone, but I ordered some Copic ones because they had them on Spotlight. I don't have it in here either. Andrew got me a voucher for Berserk, so I got myself 2 new skirts, and some other little bits and pieces. I got a Ghost Pop figure in there as well because they had them on sale. He also got me a Color Cascades voucher, so I'm going to talk to Tammy about doing some just wild fabrics for me. That would be fun. And then that's about it. One of my friends got me, I don't have the book in here, but he got me like a book of like skull-based art. There's some really nice skull illustrations and stuff in it that I want to get tattooed. Also got me like this little cat butts cross stitch. I'm probably gonna do the ginger one first, and I'm gonna put it up with Illidan's urn because, like, why not? He also got me these. And this is really cool, actually. Like, they have the swatch of the color and like a little bit of the history of it. And then on the back, it's got like popular paintings that those colors and those pigments have been used in. Um, or like the historical sort of bit, and it's really cool. I've been sort of flipping through some of them, so like cadmium yellow and paintings. So it's really nice. I kind of want to like figure out a way to like actually have them so they're just like out and maybe like flip through them in a book or something. Could be cool. But yeah, I have friends that give me cool gifts. I also bought myself a couple of video games, so I got Paralives. It is really good. It is already like there's so many just like quality of life things that are so much better than The Sims. Um, it's really nice. Plus the fact that they've got the workshop thing, and like they've got Steam Workshop set up on it like right away. Like people are able to mod it and everything like that. It's great. Um, especially when EA's stance on it is currently like, how do we make people pay for all those things that they've been doing for free? And they're trying to like monetize as much as they can. So Paralyze is great. I also got myself another one called Luma Island. I haven't played it yet. Um, I have been playing the shit out of the Arcane Library game. I've cleaned up the library 3 times now. I had to do it once more for another achievement, and then I've 100%ed it. I have played 30 something hours of it already. Like, insane. It is so satisfying to a particular part of my brain. So that is great. I am very much enjoying that. Reading wise, I've read 2 books over May. Both of them smutty books. One of them was Monster Smut, called Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Schruer. I listened to the audiobook for that one. I also listened to the God of Malice, Legacy of the Gods Book 1 by Rena Kent. Also, yeah, audiobook. Because I went and signed up for another library that allows out of area signups. So I've had access to even more audiobooks and stuff. My next planned book to read is actually going to be a physical book because when I look at my reading challenge on Storygraph, which if you use Storygraph, like add me because I want to see more people on there. Because I stopped using Goodreads ages ago. I am currently at 11 out of 20 books. I set a very low goal this year because I've historically not been beating them. I set a goal of 5,000 pages, and I'm at 2,365. I originally set an audiobook goal of like 30 hours, and I've had to put that up already. So I put that up to 100 hours, and I'm currently at 85.8 hours. I'm gonna have to put that up again. But my next book that I'm planning to read is Anathema by Kerry Lake. And this is I've been told that it's a slightly spicy horror book. More horror, sort of gothic kind of thing. Like it definitely meets the vibe. But it should be good. Mark in it so that I don't lose it. But looks very interesting. I bought it a couple months ago. So I'm gonna actually read it. I did take books with me to like my week stay in the city. But I did not read anything. I read I listened to the audiobook, the Slaying the Shadow Prince. On the way in, I started that one, and then I was listening to that for a little bit on the way back, but I didn't actually do any reading while I was in the city. It's all been around that. So the next goal is basically I want to try and do some more reading of actual books, whether that's ebooks or physical books. Um, Maybe give the audiobooks a break because 85 hours is like a big jump for me because I was never able to listen to audiobooks for a really long time. I couldn't stand sort of sitting and listening to other people talk, which is funny. Um, but yeah, like mostly because like when I read it in my voice and I read like really, really quickly. So the speed wasn't always there, and like sometimes someone's voice gives me the ick and I can't do it. So that's what I've been enjoying about Libby because you can play a sample of the audiobook before you commit to like borrowing it. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. There was one that I borrowed and I immediately put it back because I couldn't deal with it. See if I can find what it was. I was still gonna read the book. Um but I'm going to find the actual find my history. I can't remember what book it was. Somewhere. Oh, but there's a thing borrowed. Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. The problem with that one is that like it's really interesting premise. It's like a sci-fi um yeah, it's like a sci-fi kind of one, and it's sci-fi horror, and apparently it's quite funny as well. But the beginning part of it drove me up the wall, and I couldn't. Um, it was just like it opens up with a bunch of like binary code. So it's just the narrator reading out 0011 011 for like ages. And like I sat there and I like it'll be over in a few minutes. I think I got like 15 minutes in and it was still just reading through the binary code and I'm like, I can't. This is too much. If they do this again in the book, like I'm out. Like I can't deal with it. So I'm going to get the ebook and read that one instead. Um it was not good. It was not. My brain just went it triggered rage. So that one we didn't end up going through. I did also borrow Brimstone, which is book 2 of the Quicksilver one, and I started it, but I didn't finish it. Um I only got through a little bit of it and then I got distracted with other stuff, so I'm gonna re-borrow that and pick that up. So if you see that like it started on April 20th, but like I've had no more progress on it, I think I only listened to like 20 minutes of it, so I'll just restart the date, I think, on that one when I pick it back up. But yeah, that is I think that is all the thing. I'm really interested by these dungeon crawler hull books that have been going kind of viral. Um they seem interesting. I'm looking at Storygraph now, so the apocalypse will be televised. Yep, okay. Alien invasion, destruction of all man-made structures on Earth, and systematic exploitation of all survivors for a sadistic intergalactic game show. Okay, yeah, no, that sounds great. Okay. I'll have to get a hold of this. I'll have to keep an eye out, see if they're on Libby. But yeah, that is that. Plans for June. I said I'm gonna try and do a whole bunch of Stitch Eatons for today for the Ozzaball game. Try and get through some more of these. Um, prompts for Whip Warriors. I'll see how I go. I'm probably not gonna get to editing photos today. Probably sometime during the week, like I said. But they'll get done at some point. I shot both in I shot in like JPEG, but I also shot in RAW. So I've got a lot of editing to do. I did also take a whole bunch of like higher quality finish photos of like all the color cascade finishes because I had them out. So I grabbed my camera and I did that, and I've got to go through those photos too. So at some point I'm gonna update my whip board for like some of those finishes that have been done on color cascade fabrics. I'm gonna put the nicer photos up for them. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at. There's not much else that I have planned. I've got, I've got the retreat. That's like the big thing for this month. I've got the summer, winter, winter in the mountains stitching retreat by Paddock Lane Designs and Mojo Stitches. So that's at the end of June. So that's gonna be the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm staying in the venue again. It'll be a manual chair weekend. Manual chair with some walking. Because the hotel's kind of old. I'm interested to see if they've made any sort of improvements since the last time. Because I did give them some feedback on the accessibility stuff. And I know that they've got a whole bunch of stuff planned. But it's enough for me. Like I'm ambulatory enough to be able to handle it. Um, but yeah, if I had to just use the power chair, I wouldn't be able to go. So hopefully things will improve on that front. They've got, like I said, they've got plans and stuff. But that'll be good. I need to work out what projects I take with me. I want to try and get something close to a finish. And then just like take it there and finish it, so I can be like, oh look at the big finish. Because I haven't done that at a retreat yet. And like I've seen other people sort of talk about doing the same thing, and it's like, isn't that technically like not really doing that properly? But I don't know, I think like I'll give it a try, give it a go, see how I feel about it. Um, Knowing me, I'll probably be like, no, this feels like cheating, so I'm not gonna say anything. Um, because that happens. But yeah, that is everything I think. Oh, like um Bunnings, if you're in Australia, Bunnings have these little tiny boxes for $1 each. There's also a smaller one with a yellow lid, but they're really cute, and you gotta like, I have to do this is weird because of my hands. You push and like they open, but like they are the perfect size to just hold. This one's a mess. I picked the wrong one to show. But they hold a whole bunch of flosses. So if you've got spare flosses and stuff, these are really good. And they just stack back on top of each other. These are a whole bunch that I bought off eBay. They clip back in. They're really nice and sturdy. But like, they sit on top of each other, and like, there is not... I have to wobble it quite a bit to make it do that. And like I've knocked it a whole bunch of times, and they sit really well together. So they're $1 each. If you need storage for, I mean, anything really, I'm using them for my backup flosses. New watches. And so like all of my spares, I'm gonna sort these out, and then I'm gonna label the boxes as well. But yeah, really good for that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of those, and I have 3 spare. I got Andrew to grab me some. And yeah, they're just really handy. Don't know exactly where I'm gonna put them. I have some ideas. But yeah, that is new storage for spare, but like refill ones. 310 I've got the cone, so like 310 I'm still set for a long time. But this is a lot of the other sort of common colors. Or like if I've come across someone destashing on eBay and they're just like, oh here they have a whole bunch of DMCs for $20. It's like, yeah, I'll just grab them, put them in here, and then I've just got spares. And I do keep track of them using Thread Stash, which is very fun. But telling it's not using my name for some reason. It's been a little while since I've logged into it. I've got to actually go through and update stuff on there. But yeah, I do actually use Thread Stash to keep track of my DMCs. It's taking its time to load. Concerning. It's in. Oh no. No. Shouldn't have looked at this maybe. Alright, we'll find out. That's what I have been using, so hopefully it does still work, because otherwise... I mean, like, otherwise it's not too bad. I just have to do things manually again. But yeah, that is what I have historically been using, and I keep track of, like, all the extras that I have in these. So then that way, if I empty one from my main set, I can just refill it, and then mark it and change it, and I can mark which ones I need to buy if I need particular colours. It actually does remind me, I need to try and find, I think it's the 825, because I think I'm actually missing my bobbin. I'm gonna go through stuff and I'm gonna find that. That's another thing for this week, or this month. But yeah, that is everything. I'm gonna stop, because otherwise I'm gonna get off on another tangent. This is the ADHD part of the video where I'm just like, have I covered everything? Did I talk about all the things? Um, yeah. I will see you in a month's time, probably. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know if I'll do like a proper video for the retreat. I might do something blog style. I don't know. We'll see what the vibe is. I don't usually do that, so like you won't see any like footage from the Color Cascades retreat or anything like that because I didn't do any. But yeah, that is where I'm done. I will see you video.